Weird science
is the revolution.
Batman number 145, Dark Prisons Part 1, is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Jimenez. I really do like the art in this. We're coming out of the Joker Year 1 story that came out weekly, very weekly. 3 issues we had. And I said beforehand, I was worried that when we come out, somebody, Joker, Bruce, whatever, would say, oh, that's all a bunch of lies. I mean, the Joker has told his origin many, many times. And the reason they usually play it up that way is because he's an unreliable narrator. He is going to lie. So you kind of have a hoot. You laugh it off and go forward. Right away, Bruce says, you're a liar. Joker doesn't deny it. He starts laughing and then ends up, whatever. And the thing that Bruce, though, knows is that, Joker does know his mentors. That kind of irritates him. That kind of worries him. But besides that, you just push that Year 1 stuff away. I wanted somebody like Bruce is like, and by the way, that nonsense you were talking about the future, like that was ridiculous. But we go forward. They're in prison still. That's where we left them. Bruce got put in that cell with the Joker with his neck brace and his full body cast thing. And you go back to that, but we find out here that it's underneath Blackgate prison. I don't know why they did that. Usually these things are just hey, en-arrh had built a prison underneath the Batcave that Batman didn't know. But you have all those things of, Batman didn't know. He doesn't know a lot, it seems, nowadays. But this is actually underneath Blackgate. Now, speaking of the mansion, and speaking of other things involved here, when we do get back to this story, you're going to see Chip Zdarsky kind of bring things back that we thought were done, take things off the board that kind of seemed maybe big before, one of them being that en-arrh failsafe Batman is working in the Batcave. He has taken the mansion, the Batcave, back from Vandal Savage. Remember, Vandal Savage came in and bought it and then ended up saying, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to do all these things. It's going to be great. Well, it seems that en-arrh failsafe Batman has grabbed Vandal Savage and he's in this prison underneath Blackgate as well. So that allows en-arrh / failsafe to work in the Batcave. But one of the things, as I said, that's kind of taking out or away from the Vandal Savage stuff. Something that re-enters the narrative here is that idea that Jason Todd and the adrenaline, and if he gets all fired up, he gets scared. This was done by actually en-arrh to give Jason that out. He could then go off, and I think there was even the setup in Metropolis. You just can live out your life like a normal person. You can't get involved in this stuff. It really was thrown out there, and then Jason right away went against it, and he's going against it here, but it was resolved. This was resolved pretty much at the end of Matthew Rosenberg's Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. I didn't like that book at all. I don't know how many people were reading it by the end, but it was resolved because the only way that Matthew Rosenberg could finish his story was to resolve it. Now that that's done, now we're back to, it's kind of affecting me again. Because Chip Zdarsky really has a hard-on for this deal between Bruce and Jason. That has to be the sticking point. In my mind, what Chip Zdarsky might be thinking is that, yes, we'll take it off the board, but he wants Bruce himself to do it, that Bruce will be able to do it down the line at the end of this. I don't know, but I don't like seeing it. It being brought up kind of was a little eye-rolling. But what is this story really about? Well, it seems that Chip Zdarsky, in my mind, is playing a game. Ram V just did it last week in Detective Comics, where you have that age-old, quote-unquote, tired argument. Hey, don't you think that Bruce Wayne could have used his money to help Gotham way better than become a Batman? That was what was mentioned in the Ram V deal. In this thing, and I think that what we're going to get to is, shouldn't Batman be harsher? Shouldn't Batman, a Batman who beats the crap out of criminals and takes his, isn't that a better Batman? And I think we're going to end up where a lot of the hate for Gotham War was thrown at Teenie Howard. I think that we're going to see, and again, this may not happen, but this is my idea, is we're going to end up seeing this en-arrh failsafe Batman get really vicious with criminals. And Chip Zdarsky will start throwing out crime statistics like we had in the whole Gotham War. Oh, violent crime's down this percent. Oh my God, this is down that percent. And I think that Gotham might start to like a violent Batman, which then kind of will screw with Bruce's head. Obviously, usually what happens in these stories is at the end, they go too far. You'll have en-arrh, failsafe Batman go too far, and then Bruce will come and stop it. But in the meantime, people seem to think that this robot Batman, this robot flying around, we just ended up having failsafe pretty much take over the city. Well, now just because it looks like a robot, but it has a bat symbol on, everybody Mayor Nakano's yelling, this Batman, this Batman. Why isn't anybody saying, the hell's up with this robot? Like, what's going on? I'd be a little scared of robots here, but everybody's just like, oh, I guess it's Batman. Symbol says so let's go with it. And he's being very vicious on crime, which then leads to Jason Todd tracking him down, talking to Oracle over the comms. This is where they end up mentioning the idea of watch your adrenaline, Jason. All right, thought that was over. But then he confronts what he thinks is, failsafe. But you end up, and it's kind of hokey. It works for me overall, and I'll tell you why. But it's this robot that all of a sudden it has this like hologram of Bruce's face. It actually looks like it would be like Bruce's face in like an aquarium is what it looks like to me. I would have probably giggled if I saw it, but all of a sudden this kind of flickers on and says, hey, it's me, it's Bruce. It's what happened here? And the lie for this is okay, where he says, I was fighting failsafe. Things got a little, wonky. But I did defeat failsafe. But in the meantime, I wasn't going to live. So I uploaded my consciousness into this defeated failsafe robot. And here I am. And get this, I can now fight crime forever. And none of you ever have to worry about it. It does go in. And this is why I think we still have that adrenaline makes Jason fearful and goes up. Because you're going to play that idea of, hey, guys, I'm doing this so that you will never have to. I'm going to be Batman forever. I'm a robot, for crying out loud. Let's go. And why I don't mind this as much. I saw some people say, oh, my God, this is kind of eye-rolling. Why I like it is Batman always does end up having these contingencies, whether it's an endless stream of clones, whether it's to set up an AI type deal. It works. And I like that en-arrh knows this, and he's using all of his knowledge of being in Batman's head to kind of finagle this to try to make them believe it. Jason doesn't really believe it. I give him credit because one of my favorite Robins, my second favorite Robin, Damian Wayne, he's fooled. That guy, he's fooled. But you end up where Jason says, I don't believe it. And I think that maybe the tell here is this robotic Batman is being so nice to Jason, you know what? I never really, treated you well. I did you dirty. I should have been better. I should have thought. And I think Jason's like, yeah, this isn't Batman. Even an AI that ended up being uploaded. No. That AI would be programmed to hate me. So he goes to attack him and basically gets slapped aside. And en-arrh fails safe. Batman says, you'll be fine as long as you don't break the law, and zips off, just launches up. So you have that all going on. You go back down to Bruce and the Joker, and it is pretty cool. Bruce, to get out of his cell underneath Blackgate, he uses part of the contraption that they have the Joker in from getting the crap kicked out of him by en-arrh Batman, and he uses it to pick the lock. He goes out. That's where he sees Vandal Savage. That whole play is, yeah, I got plans, but I'll have to wait till after this, I guess. And then they move on from there as Batman's trying to escape. Now, again, all of these things going down of things being brought back, things being taken away. One of the things by the end of this, as Bruce going through this prison, sees a bunch of his villains, rogues gallery, whatnot. He ends up having to fight some fail-safe robots that are worked as guards. But at the end, we find out that the actual warden of this weird prison is Capdio, who we thought was dead. That was another big thing that we thought in the year one story, the Joker year one story. But no, he survived. So he's here. We even have a backup with him and Joker in it. But we're dealing more with the main story here. But again, the big thing is this Batman? It's been kind of that thing going on for a while, especially since he came back from the multiverse and en-arrh starts screwing around. Like, is this really Bruce? Is it en-arrh? Is it this? So while that's going on, Batman Zor-En-Arrh, failsafe Batman, he announces to Gotham, hey, everybody, there's a new sheriff in town. I kind of learned that I have to be a little more violent, so I'm telling all the criminals right now, if you do stuff, you're going to get the crap kicked out of you. My old ways are done, playing off as being this bigger, badder, meaner, get the job done Batman. That's why I said I think that Gotham's going to like it. Gotham, I don't know. They're a fickle group, they are, right? So I think they'll just jump onto this. And then you get a quick thing with Mayor Nakano, has a lot of nerve. That guy has pretty much been mayor under all of this, not like every 2 days. Yes, Batman's losing the city. That's something that we all say, and I may even have a video about it soon. But Nakano is actually the one who should be blamed. I mean, the police and Nakano, Batman's a vigilante. We just center on him. Nakano's yelling at Renee Montoya because Renee wants to light up the bat signal and talk and, want to see what's going on. What's up with you, Batman? And maybe get a look, see if, let's see the lay of the land. Let's see if I really believe that you are Batman. Nakano says, you better not. You light up that signal. He has a weird thing where he says, I forget. He's like, you light up that signal and you replace with the rest. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. You don't make sense, but also says, there's this thing I'm working out. And that kind of goes with, and people have talked about this, the Detective comic story by Ram V supposedly takes place like 6 months after this. And he kind of hints at that because he's on the take there. He's bad. Nakano's the worst. But in that, we end up seeing this new Zor-En-Arrh Batman take the Riddler. He's going to throw him in prison, run into Damian. Damian says, I don't think that you're my daddy. And he's like, yes, I am. Ask me anything. Things that I would only know, like when I was watching over you when you were having the nightmares. Son, in the night terrors with the K. I was right there with you. Damian's smarter than this, and maybe this is a ploy that he's trying to get close. Daddy! He's like all into it. And it really throws what's going on in Batman and Robin off a little, though I do want to see Robot Zor-En-Arrh failsafe cheering on Damian as he's playing soccer. Hilarious. It'd be great. Or after the game, because he's a robot, he ends up like this computer screen comes up and he's like, let's go over game film together, son. That'd be pretty cool. I wish I had a robot dad. My dad wasn't very nice to me. Maybe a robot dad would have been better. Oh my God. Somehow a robot dad would have been more warm to me than my actual dad. But at the end of all this, you end up having Damian accept that this is his dad wrongly, and then end up where the rest of the Bat family is trying to figure it out themselves. I don't know. They don't believe it. We got to figure out what's going on. And then we end proper with Bruce, who, as he was trying to escape, he got caught by the failsafe robot guards and brought to the warden, who is Daniel Capdio, his old mentor, and who we thought was dead. I don't know why Capdio would agree to be this weird deal. Like, I can imagine they said to him, hey, can you kind of hang out in this prison we have underneath Blackgate? It's not the best view. Tell you the benefit's not great, but, you could just sit around and think. And he's like, I don't know. Like, what's in it for me? And they go, well, we'll give you the title of warden. He's like, I'm in. This is a guy. He's very big on titles. He's very big on respect and titles. But there he is underneath Blackgate watching over Bruce and the rest. And in a way, you can kind of twist in your mind that this is a prison for the enemies of Batman and failsafe. Even Joker brought it up earlier, would think, and Zor-En-Arrh obviously would think that Bruce Wayne might be the biggest enemy of a real Batman, a Batman who would get the job done. Again, another thing that a lot of books end up playing with, a lot of writers of, should we just take Bruce Wayne out of the equation? Would it be better to just be Batman? So you got a lot of these things. That's what Chip Zdarsky's run has been so far, is kind of grabbing this. He's grabbed a lot of Grant Morrison stuff, but also concepts and overall. And I do like this to a point. I don't love this first issue because of throwing things like that Adrenaline Jason Todd thing. Also revealing that pretty much that year one, really bullcrap. I mean, really all we have to go from there is, oh no, the Joker knows Bruce's mentor. We already knew that. We knew that going in because of what happened before. So yeah, it wasted 3 weeks of our life. And shouldn't we applaud that? wasting 3 weeks of our life. But that is that. I'm going to give this I'm going to be positive because of the art. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. We'll see where it goes from here. We'll see if it, ramps it up. I do think, again, that the Gotham City is going to take a liking to a more violent Batman to get to, again, that idea of what is the best Batman. And is it, in fact, the en-arrh Batman that the Joker has been trying to get? The Joker always wants that apex Batman. So we'll see if that works. But usually at the end, it doesn't. So we'll see how it goes. But I'd love to know what everybody thinks of it themselves. I'd love to hear if you're, excited. Did that Joker story throw you off so much you dropped it, or did it get you back on board? All of that all wrapped up into one. Let me know. And with that, I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.